Welcome to the Alcohol Minimalist Podcast. I'm your host, Molly Watts. If you want to change your drinking habits and create a peaceful relationship with alcohol, you're in the right place. This podcast explores the strategies I use to overcome a lifetime of family alcohol abuse, more than 30 years of anxiety and worry about my own drinking, and what felt like an unbreakable daily drinking habit. Becoming an alcohol minimalist means removing excess alcohol from your life so it doesn't remove you from life. It means being able to take alcohol or leave it without feeling deprived. It means to live peacefully, being able to enjoy a glass of wine without feeling guilty and without needing to finish the bottle. With science on our side, we'll shatter your past patterns and eliminate your excuses. Changing your relationship with alcohol is possible. I'm here to help you do it. Let's start now. Well, hello and welcome or welcome back to the Alcohol Minimalist Podcast. With me, your host, Molly Watts, coming to you from, it is epic here in Oregon right now. Truly epic. We hit like perfection on Saturday, and I had the joy of being at an outdoor wedding on Saturday, so it was just splendid. It was really, truly so beautiful. And I was so excited for them because, quite honestly, planning a wedding in Oregon in late June outside, not necessarily a given that it's going to be that kind of day. Could have been rainy. And in fact, the week leading up to it was a little bit gray and drizzly. So definitely excited that we are here for an epic week. And, it is officially summer, right? We've talked about this, and summer comes, lots of things that happen during the summer that can be challenging for those of us that are trying to change our relationship with alcohol. We've got warmer weather, we've got longer days, we've got looser routines, holidays, vacations, cookouts, barbecues, you name it, right? Even weddings. And summer has a way of creating this unspoken permission slip to indulge. And, I get that. I truly do. I used to think of summer as one long stretch of vacation mode, if I'm honest. And vacation mode definitely meant that my drinking was far less intentional and tended to lean towards over drinking most of the time. And it was more tied to the setting, I think, than any really true desire to overdrink. But I often found myself asking, how did I end up drinking all of that, drinking that much? And that's kind of what I want to talk to you about today, the summer slippery slope. That's what I'm going to call this, the summer slippery slope. I want to talk about how to stay conscious when your schedule is out of rhythm, when your social life is up, when you are on vacation, when you've got holidays, because 4th of July is coming for those of us here in the U.S. this week. And so you want to remain mindful and not let your brain just, divert back to old automatic default behavior. And we're going to talk about why vacation mode can make drinking feel more justified and more mindless. We're going to talk about the role of context-based cues and summer-specific triggers. And we're going to talk about that doable drink plan so that you can enjoy your summer without sliding down that slippery slope. So let's get into it. And before I do, just one quick message. We are doing more Dry July over in the Alcohol Minimalist Facebook group. And I am doing free group coaching, and 5 every week I'll be doing free group coaching. So if you've never experienced what group coaching is all about, it is not like a meeting, right? So it's not like anything like any type of sober group meeting or AA meeting that you might have heard about. It's really all about me kind of teaching something and us sharing our experiences. People do bring in their own challenges that they're having, and I offer them some strategies, and we talk about mindset a lot, and it's just a real uplifting, positive experience. And hopefully you might hear something that I share either with someone else or with you that helps you to create that sustainable change that we're all looking for. So if you'd like to sign up for it, you have to be on a specific mailing list. I will link it in the show notes to get the Zoom links for those weekly group coaching calls. But come join us for a more dry July. All right. One of the biggest shifts that I had to make when I was changing my relationship with alcohol was realizing that so much of my drinking was context driven, not necessarily desire driven. Now, I will say that the context typically for me included elevated desire because I had trained my brain to associate these context clues with drinking. But the desire itself wasn't necessarily the driving factor. It was more about the event, right? The vacation, the outdoor barbecue, the warm night out on the deck during the summer. When these things came up, alcohol was just kind of assumed to be part of it. How many of you just kind of assume or associate alcohol with these kinds of events, and it's not even, you don't even really question it? Maybe your family, if you go to a family reunion, I'm on my way to go visit my family this next week. And I'll tell you, when we all get together, alcohol has always been a part of it. And so changing that pattern, changing that belief system, or just the default for me and staying mindful was something that I had to change. I used to think of going to vacation as kind of like, I'm on vacation, so of course I'm drinking. That's how I thought about it. And the thing is that the truth about all of that is it was just a habit. It was a training that I had done over years and years in repetition. And that's what developed the automation, was my own thinking around it and my own behavior around it. And you can change that, right? Summer definitely has its own rhythm. And if you're not paying attention, your drinking can just fall right into that rhythm. Not because you need it, not because you really want it, but because that's what you've trained your brain to expect. So the slippery slope that I'm talking about, right, isn't just one event. It's the compounding effect of a bunch of unconscious choices. It's what happens when you're not tracking or planning ahead, when you start associating freedom with having no limits, no restrictions, when you tell yourself, I'll figure it out after vacation or just for this weekend. And suddenly, instead of your momentum towards an alcohol minimalist life, you are building momentum in the opposite direction of the life that you actually want to create. And that's why I want you to hear this loud and clear. Summer is not a break from your values. Say that one more time. Summer is not a break from your values. It's a chance to practice living them in real life. So let's pause here for a moment and define something. Vacation mode versus conscious mode. All right? Vacation mode does not mean abandoning your brain. Vacation mode is actually about rest. It's about connection. It's about enjoyment. And those are beautiful things, right? And none of them require alcohol. But your lower brain, that habit brain that you've trained, it will say, we're not working, we're not driving, we're not stressed. This is our chance to go wild, right? To have fun, to let loose. And if you're not using your prefrontal cortex, your logical, future-focused part of your brain, then that lower toddler habit brain will take over. And that toddler brain, that lower brain, doesn't care, doesn't have the capacity to care about your goals. It doesn't care about the future. It doesn't care about peace. Hey, it's Molly, here to talk to you about Sunnyside. If you've listened to this show for any length of time, you know that Sunnyside is my number one recommendation for drinking apps that help you change your relationship with alcohol. I've been a Sunnyside partner for more than 3 years now, and one of the key reasons that I chose Sunnyside to be my app of choice is that they are really focused on continuous improvement, just like me. And for you, it is continuous improvement of the app in terms of how the customer is experiencing it. They've completely redesigned the progress tab from the ground up, which makes it easier for you to see your progress over time. They've introduced mini infographics to help you better see the big picture of drinks reduced and how dry days have added up since you joined Sunnyside. They have a dry day streak tracker now for those of you that are focused on taking a real extended break from drinking, and they intelligently surface trends in your data to highlight any positive things for you, and like a steady decrease in overall drinks over the course of time. These changes and these improvements are something that Sunnyside has continued to do ever since I started working with them. You can check it out over at sunnyside.co/Molly and get started on a 15-day free trial today. So we need a strategy that honors the reality of summer, but still helps us stay intentional. So I would like to remind you about the doable drink plan. Now, you've heard me say it before, and I'll say it again. Making a drink plan is not about restriction. It's about freedom. Freedom from guilt, freedom from overthinking, freedom from regret. And in summer, when things are less structured, the doable drink plan becomes even more essential. So for those of you that are new around here, or even those of you that have been here for a while, I'm going to remind you specifics of the doable drink plan. It's a plan that you make 24 hours in advance. That's an important caveat. It isn't a plan that you make after you've started drinking. Now, of course, I'm not going to tell you if you didn't make a plan 24 hours ahead of time that it's a reason not to if you're doing it, 5 hours ahead of time. Fine, do it. The goal, however, is to try to do it at least 24 hours in advance. Another part of the doable drink plan is that it meets you exactly where you are and where you feel at least 80 to 90% confident that you can achieve this goal. That's very important because I tell you all the time, the people that I work with often don't listen to that part, and instead they make a doable drink plan that is where they would like to be, or where they think they should be, or what somebody else believes they should be drinking. And it's not about what they actually can do, and that's the problem. We want to meet ourselves where we're at, build a plan, commit to the plan, meet the plan, and then build on that success of continuing to meet ourselves and realize we can do this. Then we're going to take the opportunity for a small step for continuous improvement. 1%, we're going to look for an opportunity to reduce just a little the following week or the following day or whatever you're looking at. But we don't try to jump from the beginning to the end to the where we want to be at the very beginning. Now, it might mean planning for just 2 drinks at the family barbecue. It might mean that you're going to do an alcohol-free day right in the middle of your week-long vacation rental. Just on a weeknight, you're going to take an alcohol-free day. It might mean that you plan for just 1 drink at a lunch during, on a nice day out at the beach at lunch, you're going to just have 1 drink. Or it might mean that you are going to prioritize alcohol-free days during July, like I do in More Dry July, and you're going to figure out what have I been doing, and how can I add another alcohol-free day or increase the number of alcohol-free days I have in this month. The thing is that making a plan, a doable drink plan, it's flexible, it's realistic, and it's anchored in thoughtful decision making. Why does this work in vacation mode? Because summers often make it easier to justify drinking more for our brains, right? Your brain is still your brain. Your habit loop is still firing. The dopamine pathways are still looking for hits. And if you don't set a plan, your brain will run the old one, the one it knows best, the one it built last summer or the summer before that. So a doable drink plan becomes a new framework. It gives your brain a new script to follow. It's your script, not the one that, isn't working for you anymore. Now, I have said it before, but it's worth repeating. If you're doing alcohol-free days, but you're leaving your drinking days completely unplanned, like it's just this is the day I'm going to drink. I'm going to have a whole bunch of alcohol-free days, but then I get to drink on this day. That's not peace, in my opinion. That's permission. And it usually signals that there's still a belief running the show that says that alcohol is my reward, it's my way to relax, and it is an essential part of my fun. Those thoughts, that's really where the real work begins. That's the story we rewrite inside of things like making peace with alcohol or the other thought tools that I teach. So if you find yourself avoiding making a drink plan, you really want to ask yourself, what do I believe that planning would take away from me? Freedom? Fun? It's a great journal prompt. So really ask yourself, what do I believe? Why am I not willing to make a plan? Here's what I want you to walk away with today. Summer is not a pause on your progress. It's the season where you get to practice alignment. You don't need to stop drinking entirely. You just need to stop drinking mindlessly. You can still say yes to rosé on the patio, to margaritas at the reunion, or to champagne at a wedding like I did this weekend. You're just saying yes on purpose with a plan that matches the future you're creating. Now, if you want some help putting that plan together, come on over to the Alcohol Minimalist Facebook group and join us for more Dry July. Or if you want some more deeper support, then head on over to mollywatts.com/workwithme and check out the ways that I work with people in a group setting or one-on-one. Until next time, my friends, stay curious, make that doable drink plan. Have a beautiful 4th of July if you are celebrating. And as always, choose peace. I will see you on Thursday. Thanks for listening to the Alcohol Minimalist Podcast. Take something you learned from this week's episode and put it into action. Changing your drinking habits and creating a peaceful relationship with alcohol is 100% possible. You can stop worrying, stop feeling guilty about overdrinking, and become someone who desires alcohol less. I work with people in 2 different ways, and you can learn about them over at my website. Go to www.mollywatts.com/workwithme or reach out to me directly. Shoot me an email, molly@mollywatts.com. We'll jump on a call and decide what might work best for you. This podcast is really just the beginning of our conversation. Let's keep it going. If there's one thing I know, it's that change is way easier when you stop trying to do it alone.